Back when I did not have a super refined technique, I actually ended up like popping a vein. So like this exploded and like it was all really dark. Tendonitis signs, some like early signs of getting arthritis and whatnot. When I got an injury in my arm where like my elbow filled up with like fluid, basically prevented me from being able to drum for more than a month. And that's not good when you're on a performance scholarship in college, because you kind of need to be able to practice. That was my big like wake up call. And so what I started to do was look at my technique and try and figure out what can I do to get rid of that sharp pain that I was feeling while playing. And so really relax my fingers and my wrists and my arms. And then I also would ice my forearms and my fingers and stuff every single night, or I would like lay with like my arms up in the air to help the blood drain. The other thing that was helpful was doing these massaging and stretching. So if you have some really good stretches and ways to play nice and relaxed or stay nice and relaxed while you practice, please let me know. I want to learn them. You take one in, you move it in, you take the other in, you move it in as well, and oh yeah, it's a weird stretch, but oh, it just, yeah, it really stretches the side of the forearms all the way down the back. Don't do any kind of jerking motion with it. Go through it slowly like I was just demonstrating. And then when you're ready to come out of the stretch, you just pull it back out the way that you came. Woo-wee. If you're doing traditional grip, you can also do some rotations like this. I'm not doing traditional grip anymore. Did enough of that when I marched. Okay, so now I'm going to stretch the underside, like the tendons, the underside of the forearm. And so you can do one at a time like this, or you can do both of them where you just like kind of like lean into it. Don't put all of your weight onto this. You could also go up to the wall. The lower or higher you go will change the angle, which will change the depth of the stretch. That wrist approach of just warming up using only your wrist is excellent, especially if you are on tour, like performing on a drumline or something, and you don't have the opportunity to actually warm up on your drums. So you might be on a tour bus and you're like, hey, we're late because of whatever reason, like flat tire or something. Then you need to be able to get ready to perform. So this is a great way to just kind of warm up, just like playing like this, or however you want to do that. Another way you can do it is also taking your sticks and playing this way. So you're playing on the underside of your forearms. And again, you're just doing the wrist motion. And if you're doing traditional grip, you can do it like this. So I'm just playing on the top and then on the bottom. Don't play too hard with the accents or it's gonna hurt, trust me. So every accent's gonna have a flam 5 after it. Bad, Jared, bad. Let's try that again. That did not happen. Press the rewind button. It will sound great, I promise. All right, not bad. Well, it got better at least. Distance between the grace and the primary. So what do I mean by that? So we have this note, and then the grace note hits right before the primary note. So you could have it very open. You could have it flat, where they hit at the same time, and it makes like a popping sound. Or you could have cha sound, which is what you're going for. And so one way you can actually practice this is, okay, I'm going to intentionally do like 8 of them open, 8 of them normal, 8 of them flat, and then 8 of them normal. So open, normal, flat, normal, and just sit there and work that for each hand. So that's one thing that you could work on if you're trying to get more consistent with your flams, with whatever technique you're using, or bonk, bonk, bonk. But the point of this is to work on perfect rhythmic interpretation of that very last line. So we're going to work on the slurred, the normal, the rushed, and then the normal variations of each of those patterns at the bottom. Slurred, normal, rushed, normal. Now tap 5, same idea. Slurred, normal, rush, normal, outside 5s. And then synthesis to see if everything sounds rhythmically accurate. And that is 5-stroke timing. Again, you can slow these down all the way to 40 if this is too fast for you, or if this is too slow, you can go all the way up to 200. So I'm trying to pull back the stick and let gravity kind of do the work while getting consistent taps, ideally. I'm not trying to force it in like that. I don't want to squeeze, because then when I play it fast, it's going to be too tight. And I won't be able to go as fast as I can if I'm relaxed. Any of these exercises that you saw me demonstrate can be found on my website. There's over 1,200 hours of drumming content. It'll keep you busy for a while. I'm going to keep demonstrating how I practice in these streams, so that way you can see how I'm trying to improve, and maybe it'll give you some ideas on things that you can focus on or work on, or ways to even focus on them, etc. Last ret. Sweet. Check out these links below, and there's nothing there. Oh, here we go. Look at that. I was like, I need to fix that. Should probably fix the timing of it. One of the things that I'll recommend when you're working on a diddle exercise where everything is all the same height, the way that you can think of it is that your hands should just constantly look like it's just alternating, regardless of if you put a diddle on it or not. So for you to watch somebody from, I don't know, like across the football field, and you put in like earplugs and kind of like made it so you couldn't hear what they were playing, and all you could do was just see their hands, it should just look like this the entire time. So what you want to make sure you're not doing is when you're playing, like emphasizing the diddles by like playing too big, or like all of a sudden lowering the diddle. So everything should be the exact same height the entire time that you're doing that. Because I know that that was a mental thing and it was like a one-off thing, I'm not working on it. And this is something that I had to consider when I worked with drum lines. I needed to figure out what is a consistent mistake and what was simply a brain fart that like probably won't happen again. So when working with a line, if you hear a mistake, you don't need to stop for it every single time. You only need to stop for it and work through it when it consistently happens every single time. But if it's just a one-off like brain fart, then just relax. Mistakes happen. The goal is to try and minimize them, but we don't need to sit there and work on something when it was like literally just like, oh, you're thinking about what kind of food you're going to eat for dinner, as opposed to thinking about the exercise you're playing. Pro tip. Cheeses. The first page is like, okay, what's unique about this? It's the second page that's weird. You play 2 of each, 1 of each, and then you remove the check. 2 of each. One of each. I left off one grace note. Oh no!